the questions.
Okay. Okay.
How did y'all meet?
Oh, we did that already. Nah, you
It
right.
was in the spring of '58.
He had a coupe Deuceberry. What's some just called? He had a Covert coupe.
he had a Ford Galaxy with the shark eye lenses.
Oh, you should have seen the white walls on that. It's bananas.
On that Duesenberry.
Yeah, I was just running behind you with it. You know, white walls was big back then.
Oh yeah.
My dad's so old school. He was like, yo, if I ever hit this lick, and you know, I get this money, I'm gonna get me a Rolls Royce and put white walls on it. I said,
oh, come on, Pops.
I said, yo, you are wilding. You gonna put some white walls on the Rolls Royce? And I know you don't want no old 70s Jake. You want a new Jake.
Right.
Stop.
What's up, Wise Feminine?
Wise Feminine. Wise Feminine. How's it going? Let me see.
Yeah.
Click on this and see. Okay, now I can see the comments. Cool. Yeah.
So
man.
yeah, I got the the chops you sent me.
Oh yeah. So I mean, you know how these beats go with these older joints, man. So it's like I pitched a lot of those joints down like minus 7, 8 from what they were to try to, you know, do some alchemy with those joints. You know what I mean? And I think they turned out good. I think my favorite one is it's a little two. It's all of them was like 2 bars. It might be members only jacket or something. I think it's that one. Or I like the way we started. The trench coat weather and double shot is cool, but the way we started in members only jacket is like they're the two. But you know, art's subjective. And one day you might be in the car and say, hey, you know how you do. So
right.
Yeah,
that trench coat weather. I don't know.
And that was one of them.
Yeah, might have to get a touch. Might have to get touched.
Oh my bad.
Yeah, this damn screen. Where I got my camera. All right. So so you've been reading.
Yes, sir.
The what's that?
I said back at it.
Yeah. The Nag Hammadi scriptures.
Yes.
So, you know, I know we ought to open up with the fanfare and all the introduction and, hey, this is a Think Muzic Podcast and, you know, I'm Johnny B. Steady but I'm just like, you know, want to make this just like what a phone conversation would be like. So, you know, you don't get on the phone and be like, you know, live from Studio B, you know. So I just want to just pick up. Right. I just want to pick up and, you know, if you want to share just what you're reading, why you're reading it, and maybe if you want to share a snippet of it and while you read, I'm going to be reading with you. I got my copy.
Okay.
You know, so It's probably
Okay, yeah. I see
is yours by Robinson?
Mine is by this. What mine looks like.
Okay, that's Marvin. Yeah.
And what it is before they get into the script, they do like a preface before they get into it, and then it's the script. So I've read the prayer of the Apostle Paul, the secret book of James, the gospel of truth, and then the next one I'll be going in is the treatise on the resurrection. So I picked this book. So a little background: my wife, her father, and his wife, during Christmas they ask us, what we would like or whatever. In like the last 3 years, me and Brianna was like books. So all the books that we thought about getting, we ask them, and then they'll get them for us. So we don't put out a specific name or whatever. It's just like, oh, this book, and then they find it and send it to us. So it may I don't know what the go-to books are a lot of times, sometimes, and unless I do know, I might put the author out there or whatever. But this is the one I got for this Christmas. And it just started off wanting to understand and get to growing up in church, and then when you kind of move out of that, you start, obviously you go into the quote unquote Afrocentricity, and you got to get this book and you got to get that book, and so that's what made me grab this. It was one of the books I heard about, so I got it. And this year I really want to start getting back into reading. I used to be a reader, then I got depressed from finding out what the world's about and went left. So now I want to get back into reading and free my mind from that. So this book is very interesting because it taps into, it kind of reads like the Bible. And I'm trying to find put this down. I'm trying to find some of my notes here of stuff that just stuck out to me. And I'll skip into, let me see, the secret book of James. Now, this secret book of James, they said, it says, "You have asked me to send you a secret book revealed to me by Peter, by the master, and I could not turn you down, nor could I speak to you. I have written in Hebrew, and I have sent it to you and to you alone. But since you are a minister of salvation of the saints, do your best to be careful not to communicate to many people this book that the Savior did not want to communicate even to all of us, his 12 disciples. Nonetheless, blessed will there be who will be saved through the faith of this treatise." So I'm reading this, and I'm gonna have to take off these personalities so I can see my highlights. So it says, Jesus appeared to Peter and James, and I'm reading it, and I dropped down and highlighted, "Blessed will you be who have not seen the human, or associated with him, or spoken with him, or listened to anything from him. Yours is life." And I was like, man, who's the human? And I know we started looking at I started looking at God more in the metaphysical than the physical. And that kind of just stuck out to me. And I was like, what does that, what does that mean? And I don't know. I was kind of blown away by that.
I'm trying to find this. It's in the Apocrypha of John, right? I mean, James.
Yeah, it's The secret book of James, according to this book, and it says the letter of James. Woe to those who have seen the Son of Humanity. And the heading is Jesus appears to Peter and James.
Okay. Yeah, this one is just, I just got the Apocrypha in the James in. Let me see. Because I see they got something here about blessed, but it's not. It is blessed are they who have not been ill and have known relief before falling ill. I see that. Look, I think I got the one you got. Let me just. Let me just find what you got.
Okay.
I thought I had that one. Let's see. Dead Sea Scrolls. I'm gonna see if these. Okay, let's see here. This is the this is a different one, but I'm gonna see what they got in here because some of them label these differently.
Okay.
Because I just want to read it. I want to read it too. But go ahead. What was you going? I mean, what do you read it again, if you don't mind?
Blessed will you be who have not seen the human or associated with him or spoken with him or listened to anything from him. Yours is life. And I'm like, who's the human? Like, and I guess it's saying that if you're spiritual or view of quote unquote God, then the human would be humanity, I guess. And at the end it says yours is life.
Mm-hmm.
Then it says right under that it says, understand that he healed you when you were sick, that you might reign. So this heading is Jesus appears to Peter and James. Like I said, that just stood out because I'm it says, "Woe to those who have seen the Son of Humanity."
Woe to those
who have seen the Son of Humanity.
Okay, this is it. It is the Apocryphon. Okay. Now this one says, blessed are those who have not seen the man and who have not consorted with him and who have not spoken with him and who have not listened to anything from him. Yours is life.
So it's like once you get understanding, then you're removing yourself from the programming of our world.
Well, the way I see it, it's like in a rap verse. Like I listened to, for the first time, I listened to that Lupe Fiasco Muriel.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think you had told me about it. You know, I ain't up on all the music, and it's just amazing. And before that, I listened to some MF Doom.
Oh, could never go wrong.
And when you're using metaphors and entendres when you're rhyming, it's layers and layers of symbolism, layers and layers of meaning. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's the same thing as these tracks that we're reading here. I feel like it's like a verse, a well-crafted verse is like of an MC.
Okay.
It's, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm getting several things out of this when I look at it, or when I'm hearing it, when I look at it. You know, I'm highlighting this. Blessed are those who have not seen the man. So much, just so, and even with it being translated differently, yours is life. Know therefore that he healed you when you were ill, in order that you might reign.
Yep.
What do I don't even know where I want to even begin with this one. Just from what I'm getting out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just go to the internet. Let's talk about the internet. There's some amazing stuff going on the internet.
Right.
First of all, on the platform we're on, you used to be able to go to your random search and you might find anything might pop up. We talked about this the other day.
Right.
And we talked about how it's a wall being put up to where you can keep hitting refresh because you're like, oh, I'm just looking for any something new, somebody just talking, getting into some information or whatever, and there's a wall up and you keep getting the same people you come across, and everybody's got their message. Everybody's got their outlook, got their take on things. But there's very little from the searches that come up on my phone. There's, at least for what I consider meat, there's very little meat. It's a lot of conjecture, a lot of
Fleecing.
A lot of fleecing, a lot of desperation, and a lot of people who are supposed to be against that Piscean thing that we're supposed to be moving out of follow me.
Right.
It's like it's like the game is this. You trash the institutions of the Piscean age that say follow me, i.e. religion, but at the same time you low-key trying to create yourself as a religious leader.
Right.
You're just not calling it that.
Yeah.
You feel me? So when I read this, the internet pops up in my mind. Blessed are those who have not seen the man and who have not consorted with him, who have not spoken with him, who have not listened to anything from him, who have not listened to anything from him. Influencers. Influencers. You know what I'm saying?
Faking it to make it.
I
said faking it to make it.
Yes. Yes. Peace, Epic Eyes.
Epic Eyes, peace.
So that's my first thing that pops up in my head.
Yeah, and I think too, the programming piece. Of once you find out the program, and me personally, I had an innate. Uh, I was born wanting to understand. Like from elementary, I just remember asking 1,000 questions, laying in bed before I would fall to sleep. Like, God, where are you from, and how were you created, and this was in elementary school, and it was like, so as I got older, that never left me as I continued to progress through life. And then you go to church and you hear some things, and then as you become a teenager, I'm still asking these questions, and then I move out of the Christian mindset, and now I start picking up, other books. You start basically getting into our history, and what I found out was, um I'll just take it to when I found out about how our monetary system works. When you start finding some things like that, and then you can see it in real time, and you understand of what these people are doing, then it's like,
Mm.
oh man, this line makes so much sense, because it's like humans gonna be humans and do what they do. But if you got the understanding of what they're doing, now you remove yourself. But then you got to understand what. Okay, I'm removing myself, but what am I going towards to continue to progress? And then that's where I come in. I'm like, I'm just looking for unbiased truth of understanding. You know what I'm saying? And then understanding the world I live in. Like, I'm not gonna do nothing crazy to be in somebody's, you know, prison industrial complex. So you got to understand that if I dabble over here, like, what's the,
Right.
find out what these pitfalls are and things that can happen to you if you go down these wrong paths. And the blessing is, as teenagers, we went down some paths, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And some of us got caught up, some of us got out. But I think for me, it was just having that understanding of, it's something different, and searching for it. Kind of, I went down a couple roads, but I didn't go all the way down. It was like, oh, I walk down the street a little bit. Oh, here's an alleyway. Let me make this exit stage left, because now I see what can happen at the end. And then having a father come in and just really tell me to read. Like, he was just like, if I was in elementary messing up or whatever, junior high, he would just tell me why I needed education. And it was not, it wasn't really, he was telling me I needed it to become like, some scholar or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I guess in a way, yes, but not in a way of like, go to school, get you a good job, and get to go watching 40 years. It was more like, you need to read so you can understand what's going on around you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so when I took that, I was like, okay, now I need to know what's going on around me. Then you understand what's going on around you. Hopefully you can avoid some things.
Mm-hmm. Which just seems to be another thing that ain't cool. No, it ain't cool to read. Which is sad. You the thing is, you don't need no books. Go within.
Mm-hmm.
Go within. But here's just basic common sense. If I'm listening to another person talk, I'm in essence digesting something and some type of food.
Right.
Okay, let's just put all this in the sake of food. So I'm really hung up on this Messiah thing. So eat this food, as in listen to what I'm saying and what I'm directing you to do, but I'm also going to tell you, don't eat that food over there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not a registered dietitian, but
Right.
I play one on TV. That's
You
the
slept
equivalent
solid
of,
in.
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's a bar. I'm not a registered dietitian, but I play one. Don't, eat this, but don't eat that over there.
Mhm.
And there are so many games going on right now. Listen, conspiracy is the new conspiracy.
Talk about it.
And if we ain't careful, because I know I'm jumping all around here, but I'm looking, 40 something years old, 44 years old. You know what I'm saying? I don't see the world like I did 10 years ago. I don't see the world like I did 5 years ago. But hopefully you mature as you grow older.
Right.
Something's happening to retard the maturation process. Motherfuckers ain't maturing. I made it 26 minutes without cussing, but it just I can't get across what I'm trying to say.
Mhm.
Motherfuckers is retarded.
Yeah.
There's a literal effort towards retardation going on, and the vast majority cannot see it.
Yeah. And I think it's because it's also in this book too. I think it's in the Book of Truth. It might be in the first one I read, where it says we're all innately looking for our creator.
Mm.
And I think what happens is I like I told you, I fell in my triune was Bobby Hemmett, Delbert Blair, Dr. Delbert Blair, and Brother Phil Valentine. And it was like when I got into the information, that was my triune. I was trying to find every video on these guys, and I'm like, they got it. And they had commanding presence and voices, and and they giving me information I never heard, and I put these guys on the pedestal. And then watching Sinetta's channel, I started learning. I heard people talking about Dr. John Henry Clark and Dr. Ben and Check Enter Diop, and I'm like, who's I knew about Ivan Van Sertima. I came across some Dr. Malachi Z. York books before I even knew who he was, like in like 90, and I knew who Ivan Van Sertima was, and like Langston Hughes and stuff like that. But like I had never heard of none of these guys until like around 08, 09. I say like 09, somebody turned me on to Phil. He was like, yo, you don't know about the Drally of the Vibe Bones lecture? And I'm like, nah, who's that? And who's Valentine? And YouTube was just coming in, was really getting its feet under itself. And I became the quote unquote YouTube scholar. And it just like saying about people not reading books. Once YouTube became the medium for people to post lectures and old videos of people and stuff like that, I fell away from reading books and became a listener, and not take it. And then I would be like, I'm gonna take some notes. And I remember I used to have a folder of like, I would write down the videos I watched just so I would know what I watched and wouldn't and try not to rewatch them. But I wasn't taking no notes either. So I was watching a lot of videos, taking stuff in, but then I wasn't writing down no books to go get. You know what I'm saying? I remember I followed Bobby and got this book called Inanna Returns, which is like a play on the Anunnaki, and I found that on the PDF and read that. That was really interesting. But I think a lot of people turned into listeners and got away from the books. Not saying nobody doesn't read, but you got a nice library. I have one, and I know there's other people with them. But yeah, I fell off of reading, bro. I went on a book buying spree, but was a listener. It was like, oh, I gotta get this book, get it. and don't even open it. Just keep watching videos. So now I'm at the point where I done did 10 years of YouTube. So now I'm back to, let me crack this book open. And then when you turn me on to your library is like a real library. Like you don't go, I don't go downtown, to the library and try to read every book. I go in there for what I need. So it's like now, when you turn me on to that, I was like, yo, that's a good thing. Like, what do I need right now? Let me look at my art. Let me look and see if I have it, pull it out and read that. So I was grateful that I went on a book buying spree. And now we're back and me and my wife were back to getting books. And now it's all about sitting down, cracking them open. But the internet is like dopamine, bro. It's so much on there. It's always on, and you never turn it off. And you have to, it's so crazy to say this, but it's like you have to turn your mind off to say, okay, let me put my phone over here and go into your library and read a book, bro, for like 45 minutes to an hour. You know what I mean? You got, sports news, entertainment news, channels you follow. It's like, it never stops, bro. Like it never shuts off. And people looking for that Messiah, back to the Messiah thing. People looking for the Messiah. And we're putting ourselves in front of people that may not have our best interests at heart. And that's where you got to be careful at. You got to really have your glasses on and peek people. And, if I notice you just trying to sell hardware all the time and you ain't really giving me no meat, like, I might need to peel off. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's where people got to be careful and then go back to self, ultimately, because I'm the only person that can help me. And use them guys as a guide.
Yeah. Yeah. We always say we want change, but do we really? It's like at the end of the day, and it's something you and I always come to this conclusion of in conversations. It really is not about collectivism.
Oh,
no. It really ain't. But people look, you start getting on the other side of the fence, like you cross over in your 40s. For me, life has changed. It's just the maturation process. Look, all that heroic shit, that's bullshit. It's bullshit. This shit is about individualism.
Yes.
Look, if people, when I go, this shit drives me crazy. You go to Walmart, and this is super mundane, but this shit it's gonna relate to what we're talking about. You go to Walmart or Costco, whatever. You're sitting in the parking lot and you see this person come out, empty out their groceries out their buggy, put it in their vehicle, and stand there for 5 minutes trying to balance the buggy. so they can get in their car and pull off. All they gotta walk is 10 steps to put the cart up where it's supposed to go. So these people don't care that the slightest gust of wind is going to push that cart and dent somebody's car. But them same people, if they came out and their car is dented, they want to kill somebody.
Yes.
So there's an inability of people to police themselves because they don't see their individual mundane actions as part of a collective order. Now, these same people may be, I'm on this side, I'm this and that, but the motherfucker ain't even hasn't even covered the basic shit of how to govern themselves. We're talking about this is a Bobby Hemmett quote: pathological, perpetual, grown-up children at large.
Mm.
And so everybody wants this freedom, and we think it's so beautiful, the Aquarian age. But people still think like children who need to be ruled under Capricornian society, top-down rulership, because they have not demonstrated that they know how to govern themselves. And so we get on the internet and we're still looking for a shepherd, although I done left Holy Sanctified Gospel Hold My Mule Baptist Church. And I know pastor was knocking down everybody. I done went over now. I'm looking for a new pastor.
Yes.
He just calls himself Divine Enlightened One from the 9th dimension.
Yes. Yes.
He's running the same hustle that the preacher runs at the church, because the people's minds have not changed.
Listen.
It's just like when somebody leave. Oh, my bad. What was you gonna say?
Nah, I forgot we got a delay, so you was locked in. My bad.
It's just like when somebody move from their state and they move somewhere else, and they take the same habits they had. Like when I came to Texas, and I'm gonna yield the floor. But when I came to Texas in 2002, man, I came down here and I knew I wasn't going back home. I ain't know how I was gonna make it, but I knew I wasn't going the fuck back home, because that shit wasn't working.
Right.
So the same mundane shit applies on whatever level you're talking about. The people, the vast majority, got the same mindset of being in a church.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Those guys took that those guys, as they say, they figured out the algorithm.
They figured out the algorithm.
And they said, oh, we can feast the people like the pastor do and come with this half studied information, because we know people looking for something, and feed it to them. And people are lapping it up, because if you don't have any real understanding, then you will fall for that. If you're not rightly looking for information, you'll fall for that, because you're just looking for a teacher. You're not, I'm not going to say you're not looking to learn, but you just you don't see it in yourself to be able to do it. So you want to get it from somebody else, so you want Malcolm to come back. You need Martin to come back. You need Marcus to come back, instead of seeing that in yourself. Because as you touched on at the beginning of when you started speaking, like individualism will breed collectivism. You know what I'm saying? It's like if everybody get themselves together as an individual, you're gonna come together as a collective. I used to be in the barbershop and be like, yo, 5 of y'all put y'all money together and bought a piece of land, like y'all could live differently, take up farming. And then because you're pulling resources, you could bring somebody in to build for you on some land, but it always comes back to the trust. And it's like, yeah, okay, all of us need to see what's going on with the monies. Like if that makes you comfortable, and that's fine, but pool your resources. You know what I'm saying? And then if you do that as an individual, you can come together. You can have a lot. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people say, well, that's what the other races do, and this is why they're in different places. But it needs to be from top to bottom. You know what I'm saying? Yourself. First off, you got to get rid. Nothing happens if you're not right. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not right, my family life ain't right. Me and my wife not right. Me and my relationship with my children's not right. I'm not being productive in society and taking care of myself. So first, it starts with me. What's going on with me? Then I got to be honest as I'm looking in the mirror and say, okay, these are the things that's wrong. Now, how do I correct them? Then I work on correcting them. Then when I feel like, okay, I'm in a good place, I'm moving. Now, okay, what do I want to do? Be it a job or whatever that is. Now, if I'm single and I'm looking for a woman, and I know I've been through some past relationships, now some relationships that were difficult in the past. Now I use that as a guidepost moving forward. You know, I always tell my children, like, listen, man, there's questions it's okay to look for the woman you want. You know what I mean? Because I have all sons. And I don't tell this to my 8-year-old, but my older two is like, it's okay to ask women questions to see if they fit what you want. You know what I mean? Nothing's perfect. You know, you're gonna find you know, you might get 8 out of 10 boxes checked, but just know you're gonna have to do work in that relationship anyway. It's not just like, oh, we met and now you know we skipping off holding flowers.
Everything's great.
Yeah, like nah, it's still gonna be work, but you got somebody that lines up with you in thought and performance. And then when you have a little hiccup, you'll know how to sit down at the table. Me and my wife had cards on the table talks. You know what I'm saying? And we're not afraid to say what we need to say to each other, because I'm almost 9 years in my marriage. Like, I'm not going nowhere. I'm locked in. So it's like we share with each other. And so now you got your relationship together. You got you know your working situation together. Now you as an individual, you're somewhat together. Like, you're not perfect, but you're somewhat together. Now you come forth into society, remove yourself from things you used to do, and you're doing something different. And that's how you build yourself up as an individual to get, you know, to become a better person. And then you find like-minded people. Now you're cooking, you bring something to the table, and now you find 2-3 more. Now we can grow because we done worked on ourselves. We're open to sharing, and now you can have something, you can have something amazing.
And it's not GMO, it's organic.
It's organic, and it start with you.
Because when you're working on yourself, that's a real organic seed that's growing.
Yes.
And when you find just a couple of little folk that vibe on the same frequency.
Keep going real quick. I gotta use the bathroom real quick. I'm sorry. Keep going.
Okay. Something else I want to add too, just to keep yapping, is that your practical life should never be separated from your metaphysics. That's just that, and to me, I think that's another hustle. I've seen a lot of hustles in my life. I participated. Never nothing scamming nobody, but I've done a few things. But that whole, well, I know how to spot bullshit. This thing of anything that has anything to do with your everyday life is just nothing worth discussion, is a fatalistic approach to existence. My cousin, who is 6 years my senior, he's always told me, he said, it's easy to go and stand up on a mountain and stand on one foot and meditate for 4 hours. He said, that, it's hard, but he said, eventually you'll adapt to it, you'll be able to do it. He's like, the real work is having to know this little bit of knowledge, and you still got to go out here and do your normal everyday shit. You got to still work. You still got to take care of your family. You still got to figure out how to communicate with your spouse, communicate effectively. That's the work. It is easy to unplug and just go somewhere and just be spiritual, whatever the fuck that is. And so I just want to put that out. Can you hear me, Dap?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. I was saying while he was gone, like, I don't think you should ever separate your practical life from your metaphysics. Those two worlds are constantly overlapping each other.
Yeah.
And I think it's a loser mentality and it's a hustle when people try to sell the idea that those two things, those two worlds don't overlap.
They definitely. Hold on, my mic don't. Oh, okay. There we go. There we go. Yeah. Okay.
For example,
So
let me give this example real quick, Dap, then make your point. Let me just give an
okay.
example so it just sound like I'm okay. Remember we was talking about the other day about my 11-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, looking at her chart, her birth chart, how I felt like I felt so much more empowered talking to her, looking at her chart and say, look, baby, this is your chart. You notice you got this planet sitting down here by itself away from all these other planets. I said, this is one we need to focus on for you to figure out how to direct your life. You know how good that felt as a parent? That is fucking metaphysics. Astrology is the language of metaphysics being applied in a practical manner because I'm a parent. I got 4 children.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but go ahead. My bad.
No, I see. What you said makes sense because I thought, if I could go to Tibet and go sit on the mountain and learn from this, learn from this guy how to quiet my mind and sit tight. But I was like, we have to live in the world. And it's funny you said that because my cousin, she was like, I like to be at a 6 or a 7. And when we went to Atlanta to visit, she was like, a lot of things going on. She got people at her house, and not in a negative way, but just, when you used to being by yourself, then you have people in your home, you trying to make sure stuff is, kept together and all of that. She was like, she's kind of like at, she's functioning at a 3 and a 4. But what happens is when you're doing these studies, the real work is applying it in real life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like you need, like if you're trying to be a 6 and a 7, just using her as an example, if you being your 6 and a 7, that's a good place for you. And turmoil going on around you, that's the true work right there. Like you need, it's like we live in duality. So we always do my whole thing was like, I just want to be even kill. I want to be even kill. But it's like you need the left and the right to be even kill. You know what I mean? Like I be wanting, like when I get in my little funk, I'm like, man, 2014, I was like, I want to know when the funk's coming so I could just remove myself from it. But it's like, I have to go through it to remove myself from it. It's like I'm asking myself to be perfect, bro. And it's like, it's no way. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm asking for perfection and there's no perfection. So now me and my wife, we're doing, we listen to Hertz music when we go to sleep. I'm meditating now. I'm praying now. We use I'm
you have
using
to expound on that.
I'm using the aromatherapy candles. We're lighting candles and incense in the morning, and just we changed our living room around and changed our bedroom around, like just changing some things, man. You know what I mean? And and like I said, me and my wife, we have a good relationship. Like, and I still struggle with things I struggle with coming up. I wasn't always super forthcoming. Now, that armor's been down. But sometimes I still go back there where I may let something fester for a couple of days and then I come to my wife and share it. Where I would like to get to the point where I could just when it's happening, just say something. But I still have this figure it out myself mindset that I still try to do. You know what I mean? And that's just something that's been in me from, childhood, teenage years. You know what I'm saying? But with the meditating, bro, like like when I get up and I try to do it every day. I picture myself on the beach looking at the ocean, and I have my candles lit. I sit on the floor and I try to just quiet my mind. And what I found is that when I do that, floods of positive thoughts come in and things that I need to do in my life to make my life even better than what it already is. Ideas flow in, you know, uh things I want to do with the music, ideas I have with the music, art ideas come in. And then it's a dopamine rush. And when I come out of my meditation, what I'm learning now is how do I continue to push towards those goals that, as you know, as we call them, downloads of like, okay, I had this great idea. Now I need to go work on it. Because once again, it comes down to us doing the work. I can have all the grandiose ideas I want, but if I don't put anything forth to make them come forward, it's a done deal. Like, it's just a thought, and I think all of us are touched with the ability to have amazing thoughts, to have amazing ideas, but we get bogged down in life. We got to go to the 9 to 5. You got to take kids to soccer practice, just different things. And we're like, oh, I don't have enough time to get that idea out. And it's like, no, you got to try to get it out. You know what I'm saying? Because it may bring something forth. It may bring some fruit forth that could change your whole life around. Even like with us doing this podcast. Like I called Jamal, I text Jamal. For y'all that don't know, I have a cleaning business. So I clean at night. And when I'm cleaning at night, I put some music on because I kind of been tired of listening to lectures and people talk. So I just been doing music like the last few days. And what I found was that allows me to think. And I was like, me and Jamal, we do a lot of talking offline about what we see in the world and this and that. And I hit him like, we should do a podcast. We both follow this channel called Think Media, and the guy's like, just hit record. Like, just do it. Like, you stop waiting for the right moment. Just go. And I text him and I was like, bro, like, he reads, I read. Like, let's just start the podcast off with, what are you reading? Like tonight. And then tap into what we're reading and let the conversation flow from there. And but us doing this tonight came from a thought working. Like, me and Jamal could do a podcast. I know he's super busy, so we may, like this podcast we're 52 minutes in, one week we may come on, it might be 20 minutes. 1 week we may come on, it might be 2 hours. Like, we're not even putting a time frame on it. It's like, let flow what flow. And then when it's time for us to check out, we check out. But this is an idea that came to me. And like, we moving forward with it. And like, even with the music, it's the same thing. Like, the way we flow with the music and the ideas we have with that, it's like the world is moving to individualism, period. A lot of, like, there's still going to be some gatekeepers, but now you could grab an iPhone and make a movie on the iPhone. If you got people around you that's willing to help you, and you got some people that maybe can act a little bit or always wanted to be an actor, and you give them a little script, like, you can make a movie just surrounding your neighborhood, you know what I'm saying, and put it on YouTube. Same thing with the music, but you have to be your own A&R guy. You have to be your own director. You have to be your own producer. But things are starting to fall to the wayside. And the everyday person is going to be able to become what they want, in a sense, and you may have to put a little money into it, but you may have some type of underground following that is enough for you to create your art for. You know what I mean? And and maybe sell some things, whatever people want to do with their art. But that's where we move, and things are widening, and there's going to be a gap, and that gap is going to need to be filled. And a lot of these gatekeepers are dying. A lot of them are moving on. And you still got these new ones coming in that's going to try to usurp you and keep the old paradigm going. But I always ask Jamal this: is humanity trying to change itself? You know, when I look out into the world, I'm like, yo, what is like humanity wants something different, because we've been seeing the same stuff for 40, 50, 60, 70 years. And it's like you got a younger crop of people coming into the world that's becoming adults and don't like the old paradigm. And we're living in a literal shift, you know. But we also need to continue to do our studying and make sure that the nefarious piece we understand and teach our children, because they're going to be the ones that's going to reap whatever's coming forward when we're out of here in 40 plus years. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Right.
So it's on us to stay on top of what's going on, but also be creative and do what we want to, you know, and try to get those things out.
Yeah. And I think too, to add to that, is that the freedom offered to us now through the individualism is being thrust upon us.
Yes.
But the what I'm seeing though is that to be able to flourish in it, you're gonna have to still go back and pull on those Capricornian principles.
Yes.
Okay, so Capricorn is like your skeletal system. If we didn't have bones, we would be mush. Okay, it would be we walk around like we wouldn't be walking. We'd just be like the blob, just
Right.
just piles of mush on the floor. So because we have bones, we have structure. So this individualism that is being thrust upon us requires that each man and woman understands how to structure his or her life.
Yes.
So you and I, all of us are having to learn how to be basically adults and not pathological, perpetual, grown-up children at large who throw fits about the things that are not going our way, versus saying, because I have learned this the best is through my children, because being this age with young children, I done thrown some motherfucking fits about them.
Indeed.
Threw my back out and all types of shit till I finally feel like, look, dummy, either they gonna fucking kill your ass or you're gonna have to figure out another way. You're gonna have to learn how to restructure your approach.
Right.
And you be on the phone with me, you hear me with these, you hear me on the phone with the kids, and I this is the battlefield. So humanity is going to have to learn to be responsible. So as wide as the thing is getting, it's also narrow.
Yes.
Because many people are resistant to what the Aquarian call really is. It's calling for self-governance. One of the reasons I've been wanting to say this, one of the reasons it's important for people to read, look at the schools right now. Can I share this about you and Brianna with the books?
Yes, indeed.
So Dap tells me that his wife, Brianna, is out driving and she sees somebody has thrown out all these books for the trash. She pulls over and puts her ego to the side. Because people are going to be driving at, oh my God, look at her over there digging through the trash.
Right.
She's fuck them. I see these books. These books are
Yeah.
valuable. Let me
Yeah.
see what this is. So some of them were on chemistry, some were on what do you say, history and some other things.
Anthropology, psychology, uh, um, I think some math books. It
Okay.
was it was about 18 books
For free.
for free.
Free
And
99.
yeah, and like school grade, like college grade joints.
So here's
Like
my
you might
point.
have been a teacher or something. She or he or she.
I'm gonna summarize this and I'm gonna shut up. If you're being thrust into a position where parents are having to be more involved in the education of their children, of our children, is it not conducive for us as parents to still be reading and expanding our minds, given that the old avenue of school is changing right before our eyes?
Right. Yep.
So am I gonna go up to the school and go up there and beat on the door like, y'all ain't doing enough to help our kids? Or am I gonna say, oh well, I always wanted freedom.
Yep.
The freedom, you don't want people taking your child to school and teaching you a whole bunch of garbage about Christopher Columbus discovered America and all this other garbage.
Right.
Well, now they done set your child in your lap. But if we ain't doing nothing to expand our minds, then we're like crash dummies. But
You wait.
I just want to say that, man. I'm gonna yield the floor.
Nah, I think you're right. And I have to do a better job at working with my son. You know what I'm saying? But you're right. Corona, this pandemic has really shifted you to individualism because now you have to be home with yourself. There's there's places open, but you just can't be out and about. Like your home is no longer where you just sleep at, and then you get off work, you're gonna eat dinner with the buddies and get drinks with the guys and go to a baseball game. Like, yo, you gotta
Right.
be home now. So if you not prone to being in the research and studying and all those different things, you're sick at home. You don't want to be in your house. For those of us that are into researching, we're okay. You know what I mean? I told Jamal, like, yeah, there's people working out and doing their health thing, but when the pandemic first kicked off, me and my brother started walking at this lake. It's like it's called Shelly Lake, and it's 2 miles round. And I used to wake up every morning, go walk that thing 3 times, 6 miles, and parking lot be jumping by the time I'm done. It was like the pandemic seemed like people wanted to get out the house, and the only thing you could get out the house to do was be healthy. It was like, go walk. You ain't walk. You walk to the refrigerator. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. Like now, people are going to lakes and walking. I went to go buy a bike from a used joint. No bikes. Walmart had no bike. Like, so it was like, yo, everybody, people were like, I want to be outside. What can I do outside? Oh, let me go get a bike. It was nothing around. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing with learning. Sitting at home, I got a bookshelf full of books. It's like, yo, and I really don't even go anywhere anyway. But the pandemic just it helped me become more healthy. Me and my wife started doing our supplement regimen. It made me just really start thinking, because you hear this pandemic, you don't really know what it is. You're kind of figuring it out. You're watching the news. Like, I'm a skeptic anyway, so I'm like, let me just see what they're talking about. But it really made me step up my health game and say, you know what, maybe this is the launching pad to just keep moving in the direction I've been thinking about moving in. But now it's kind of like forcing you to move in that direction, and it's for the better. So now I've been on my supplement regimen for probably like a couple months now, and just got the treadmill. I'll be breaking that in this weekend, and really just trying to stay focused with reading the books and meditating. And ironically, the pandemic helped jump that off. You know what I'm saying? Like, and now I'm learning how to, okay, keep it going though. That's the whole deal. We can start a lot of things, but how do I keep it going? So, you know, talking with Jamal, talking with my wife, a couple other people I talk to, and being okay of sharing what I'm going through, will benefit me to keep me on this path.
Mm-hmm.
And making these beats.
Uh-oh. You know, we had this real big wreck down here yesterday.
Yeah, that joint was crazy.
Yeah. And you know, condolences to the people who perished, you know.
Oh, man, God bless.
But it made me think, you know, the whole pandemic thing has been a slowdown, right? Everything stagnation.
Right.
Stagnation is not always bad. The people on the highway, we were told that there was going to be ice on the roads.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody know, you know, all the weather people were saying that there was going to be ice. They said it only takes a few millimeters to create a sheet. And I mean, everybody knows, unless you're off in the head, you know, you can't stop on no ice.
Not at all.
When they showed some of the images of an 18-wheeler slamming into the people, I'm looking at it, I'm saying the truck was traveling too fast.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw all that stuff, was like, man, this is real life astrology lesson. You know, when you're studying, okay, and I'll share, I don't know if I have it in here, but I'll share what I'm reading right now. I have launched myself into, I've been researching and looking for how I was gonna, once I made my mind up that, you know, I wanted to really, really learn astrology, I started really looking for where I was going to invest, you know, like, and what I could afford. Because, you know, everybody got a course for something online now. But I found some people who recommended this, and it's really been helpful. I'm doing this course. I printed me up these manuals. This is this lady, Ben Bell Wynn. She sells this. She sells this in PDF form. And so I took it to FedEx, paid $80 to get it printed up nice, because that's how, you know, I'm slow to do things. When I make my mind up, I'm gonna do it, you know. Right. But one of the first things, and I got a whole bunch of other stuff, like other resources that I'm using. But one thing I'm learning, when you're starting with astrology, you got to start with understanding the elements, the basics. Okay?
All right.
The elements are earth, wind, water, fire, the basics. Okay. For you to interpret a chart, you have to be able to understand the elemental flow of the chart, because they're showing you what's the basic DNA of it, and then you're looking at the interaction of those elements. Okay, I'm getting somewhere. People were told by the forecasters what the weather was going to be, i.e. the elements. And when you look at the video, and I'm not saying all these people, But what I saw, that truck, there's a lack of respect and understanding, obviously, of the elements. And when we don't take the time to research the elemental aspects of our existence on the simple, mundane levels, there's unnecessary suffering that occurs. You feel me? It was not necessary to have that much carnage. It's because people didn't want to slow down.
Yeah.
And the pandemic has been about slowing down, stagnation,
reevaluating,
and that's a key word. Mercury is in retrograde, or not in retrograde. Mercury is retrograde. That's the proper way to say it. Reevaluate, re-examine, reconsider, reinstitute. All these words come up, taking a second look at stuff. You know what I'm saying? But to do that, you got to slow down. So I thought that was very interesting how all of that played out. You know, when you give people the opportunity to go, you know, if they don't have the wherewithal to know when to slow down, then you have what we saw on the news, you know, carnage.
And it's so funny, man. Like when I was sending you those beats earlier, I was on my AOL, and you know, this polar vortex is from east to west, and mostly in the northern. Well, I think it was down your way a little bit too. If you look at it on the map, it's like it's sweeping through. But man, I seen a video, and this is just like, you just got to be careful, man. When that ice out there, you just have to cruise, man. This dude was on a rant, and you know, when they plow the snow, it goes up on the bank of, you know, the wall, and it iced over. And this guy slid, went up over the embankment, and came down on a different part of the highway. Like, it was crazy, bro. It was crazy. And it's like, I looked at it, and I'm saying to myself, like, you know, I know people have to be out and try to get to work, and it's like, even if you driving slow, like, he hit that ice, he wasn't even going fast. It's just, as soon as the ice hits you, that's it. Like, you have no control. You just hoping like nothing crazy is gonna happen. And I mean, this dude just slid, bro. And you know, I think he survived, and I don't know how, but it's a lot of turmoil out here, bro. Straight up. And it was just mind blowing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, if we're not paying attention, something climatic can happen, man. You know, taking it just back to like with ourselves. If you're not taking care of yourself, you know, like what we're doing right now, as far as like with this pandemic and trying to be healthy and work on yourself, it can end for you. No?
Yeah. It's this is like you and you telling like your wife, you and your wife talk about, you know, if there ever was a time for application, it's now. You know, you're not reading now just to hoard knowledge. You're reading to go out in the dirt immediately and put the seed in the dirt and pour some water on it and nurture it and like, man, I gotta make this thing grow, you know.
Yes.
Because ignorance, negligence, stupidity are far more dangerous now than maybe they've ever been.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a measure of protection for your ignorance when you're not privy to information.
Mm-hmm.
And we can laugh at our mothers and fathers about, yeah, they're all in the church and they blah, blah, blah. But it's funny. My mama's 74 years old. My grandmama 90. Built like a Sherman tank, you know? But, you know, our generation's gotten a lot more frail. So, there's a measure of protection of their innocence, because they didn't have access to all that we have. We got the internet and phone, computers in our pockets and shit,
Right.
you know. So the protection is not there for our ignorance now, because you don't have an excuse to be ignorant no more.
Nope.
You know. So
Yeah.
we're seeing this shit speed up, man.
And you gotta and just your surroundings. Like, I don't know if this made it on the national news, and it probably did because it was a UPS worker. But somebody here, man, dude was delivering a package and got shot.
Damn.
Wow. On the phone with his coworkers too, and you know, delivering a package, minding his business. UPS worker got knocked off, man. So it's so now you really need to be watching your surroundings with all the turmoil you're going on in the world with politics, not knowing what an individual is going through. And that's another reason why waking up, meditating before and praying before I go outside, bro, it really helps you. It can help you nullify something. Now, that thing that happened to that guy was random, but for me, it makes me say, okay, you know, if somebody, you know, pulls out in front of me, or somebody, you know, in the grocery store is being a little sideways or whatever, I can say to myself, they just may not be where I am right now. I don't know what's going on with them. And instead of me shooting back, where that could maybe go into something else, I can pull back now and allow them that, you know, long as it's nothing, you know, crazy and physical. But you know, I can remove myself from situations easier, you know, because it's like I'm preparing myself for, you know, you never know. And I always got my eyes open. I'm all, you know, my head's on the swivel. I'm always looking around, peeping movements. But you just don't know what could happen today, man. And I mean, it's always been like that. But like, it's heightened right now. You know what I'm saying? So having control of yourself and how you're treating people, how you're speaking to people when you out and about, you know, could change some things. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to physical interactions. You know, and you know, keep to yourself and move easy. And you know, and that's what meditating before I go outside does for me, man. It just gives me a clear brain, a clear mind. Because like I said, I don't know where another individual is. You know, I don't know. You know, I'm one of those guys that I like to get to the surface of stuff, and I can't do that with every individual I come across. I don't know what people going through. You know what I mean? But I know, all I know is what I can control in it. So, so that's where I'm at, man. Like, just really paying attention to what's going on around me, and then how am I controlling myself, and what am I doing for myself? That's all I got.
and paying attention to your surroundings for protective measures, and to also see your magic. Because and it comes back to the common denominator of pay attention, be present.
Yes.
If you're on the highway, don't lose your presence to where you forget, that there's inclement weather.
Mm-hmm.
Be present when you're parking your vehicle and you get out, looking around, see, scanning the parking lot, scanning the store.
Yep.
Also scanning your environment when you're outside, because from a metaphysical standpoint, messages are being delivered for you all the time. And if you're not paying attention, look, when I go out, the billboards be talking to me.
I remember you told me that a couple years ago.
Hey, look, man, and I'm not BSing. The 18-wheeler going by, the trailer goes by. Be excellent. I might be talking to my wife about some project, and then it goes by. Be excellent. Subtle stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We're in Texas. Texas is a God bless America state.
Right.
And we leave out the gym this morning, and one of these electronic billboards has, it's the year of the cow, Chinese year of the cow. I'm like, that's odd that they displaying that Chinese year of the cow. Like, and and this see, I'm contradicting myself. This might be a slight conspiratorial nature here, but it's just paying attention. Okay. The cow is part of the bovine family, which means the cow is in the family with the bull, the yak, and the ox. No, this is the year of the ox. I'm sorry, year of the ox in Chinese astrology. Okay. On January 6th, when they had this fiasco at the Capitol, the main picture that came out of that was a cat wearing the thing on his head with the horns. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well, if you drive a little farther down the highway from where that billboard is, that I'm talking about, there's a Trump billboard that says China Joe has to go. The shit's hilarious. China Joe has to go. Like, man, somebody's paying $5,000 a month to keep this shit up. Like, but
must be nice.
Must be nice. But I'm like, that's interesting. My kids come home and they got something, their little pack from school about the Chinese New Year, the year of the ox. This is interesting, because are we being made privy to something that we don't know we're being made privy to? Has this thing, corporations are bought and sold and taken over all the time.
Right.
And we've learned through some of our master teachers that, where certain things are registered at, the corporation, where it's registered. It makes you wonder, are we being led on to something? And I'm just gonna leave it at that. You know what I'm saying?
It's the same. It's the same way on the financial side. It comes out that this Robin Hood is being backed by one of these investment funds that has all of this money tied into short and GameStop, and they made Robin Hood pause their their Robin Hooders, for the lack of a better term, from buying the stock because it was hurting Citadel, which is the ones that process their trades or whatever. So it's all intertwined, man. Because on Robinhood, you could trade for free. Like there's no, like with Fidelity or Charles Schwab or something, you might need like 2,500 to start to invest with. But with Robinhood, you can just go. But the reason you could do it for free is because they're backed by the Citadel. But this is information that comes out, with all these Wall Street better people pushing this price up, trying to go back and forth with the elitists. You know what I'm saying? But now we come out, and now you starting to hear information where it's like, these same people, I have someone go on a CNBC or Bloomberg TV and tell you about a stock to hype it up because they're gonna get it on the back end. So it's a game. It's a game, bro. It's like, that's why if you understand the matrix, as we're trying to do, we have to maneuver in it. Once you figure out the algorithm, and I know this is a broken term and it's the buzzword, but it's the real thing, bro. Like if you can find the algorithm, you can make a move, because it's all, my thing is this. Once you get out of natural law and you dealing with man's law, the shit's flawed. There's an algorithm to all of this shit. Like ain't none of us doing, ain't nobody doing nothing. Ain't nobody the creator where you just coming with some shit out of nowhere. Like there's an algorithm to everything dealing with us. And if you find it, you can eat. You know what I mean? And that's what they did with the stock. I always said the stock market is the rich man lottery, and the North Carolina state lottery is the poor man's stock market. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's how the stock market is how cats, is how the elite eat and gain more. And but it's manipulated basically. And it's wild. So yeah, I wouldn't put that past no one nudging us somewhere. You know what I mean? They always know us.
We got Low Key in the house. What's up, bruh?
Peace, Low Key.
He sent me a video earlier about Bitcoin. That's the other thing. And I meant to text you back because what really I'm gonna have to send this to you too, Dap.
Okay.
What piqued my ear in there is them saying this is going to replace your gold. So obviously there's a grab. In my mind, I'm like, there's a play coming. I'm thinking, I know I'm jumping all around here, but I'm trying to process this thought. You heard about, I'm sure you read about and heard about the whole thing in 33 of snatching people's gold, right? Where it was illegal to have it.
Right.
So I listened to the video the brother sent me, and I'm listening to them, and they're saying this is digital gold. And this will replace the gold. And something about towards the end, they said to the people who are trying to hoard gold, they're the ones who are going to have a target on them. And I'm like, that's interesting. Now, when I listen to Taj Tariq Bey, he's saying stack your silver.
Yeah, they've been pushing silver. They've been pushing silver and gold for a minute, bro. Like when I used to work for the Frito-Lay, and I'd be listening, and I would be on the radio, I would hear all these commercials about buy silver, buy silver, buy silver. I'm like, this had to be around 2012. And you talking about the gold too. Just a quick sidebar. Remember, like about
come on, I know where you about to go.
20 years ago, all these we buy gold places popped up. just out of nowhere. Your national pawns, your mom and pop pawn. Everybody had this "We Buy Gold" in the window, and it was like, yo, and then I didn't have the understanding I have now fully, but it was like, yo, like why is they trying to get people to come up off their gold? What's going on? But see, once again, when you're dealing with the upper echelon of society, and they send the kite down, to the base. It's like you don't know what's going on, but it never stopped. Like those signs never went away. It just became a thing. Get rid of your gold. Get rid of your gold. And then, like you said, now you got people pushing the silver, and you still have people pushing gold, but it's fake gold out here too. So you got to be careful, man.
Well, it's very interesting times. Very interesting times. Low-key said gold hit an all-time high price in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
I think one thing we know for sure is that we don't know shit for sure.
Yeah.
It's
your man Elon Musk it's this coin called I want to say it's called Doja coin. The guy's a dog on. It's not even a real coin. Like it's not even like a real Bitcoin or anything. And he tweeted something about it, and it just went up astronomically. And that's just how crazy this is, bro. Like it's not even a real thing, and it just shot up out of nowhere, a fake coin.
Hey,
and it's just tell you how things is easily manipulated.
Hey, they go back to that word influencer.
Yes. Yep.
The influencer is the new influenza.
Oh wow. See, he made 2 point. He made 2,500 off that joint.
Yeah,
See?
he be on it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you understand the algorithm, you can eat.
That's the key. See. This is what this comes down to. It comes down to time. It's time. It's having the time and allocating the time.
Mm-hmm.
So for somebody who's studying it and up on it, yes, but when I used to shoot pool, this cat in our hometown, he was this well known, he got around, and he was telling, he's like, you don't never gamble in no shit you don't know all the rules of. And it's like when you go in the pool hall, you don't go shoot no motherfucker that that can really shoot. You know what I'm saying? Just basic. And for me, I guess that's my thing is I just don't know enough. And it's just like when brothers be talking about the law. Well, Davidson versus Davidson, and
yeah,
it worked. They probably did get remedy from it, but it's because they put in the time and they know. But for me, I'd be fucking hanging myself on a noose,
Right.
So,
and I get that's why you have people like a Taj, not to cut your wisdom, but that's why you have people. That's why when you looking for someone, if you want to follow someone or take some information, and if they really working with you with the information, that's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? It's the ones you gotta watch out. You gotta watch out for the fleecers. You know what I'm saying? Because a guy with that type of information, if he's gonna, quote unquote, hold your hand and help you work this thing out to get this remedy, then that's what you need. When you just like, man, just study this and read this pamphlet I'm gonna give you, and then go to court. You like, I don't know, bro. Like, nah, I'm cool on that.
Yeah, and which it leads to this. What I think what needs to occur is when you're talking about from a collective standpoint, humanity is going to have to start forming little small pockets to share
Yes.
information.
Yeah, I've been on this for a minute, bro. Yes.
And it has to be like, I'm not selling you my course. I'm not selling you my, like, hey, you do this, you can be a millionaire. Just like people of like mind who get together and share information.
Mm-hmm.
So like, um, you know, um, low-key is meticulous about, studying what he's into.
Right.
And so I think that's what's needed. Like things ain't gonna be able to be done broadcasted. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's gonna have to be. Of course, you can't really do nothing without being supervised, but at least make them work a little harder. If you just set up a private Zoom thing with just some folk and just, and I'm gonna put something out here too that I think that I've been wanting to say for a long time, and I think it's people laugh at people in the church, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we can't say that people have not always gotten remedy. What's up, Straight Panther? Checking in. We can't say that people have not gotten remedy from their church affiliation, especially back in the day.
Yes, indeed.
We don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. So what I'm saying is, when them old folk used to get in there and pray and they were sincere, I'm talking about before T.D. Jakes and Kirk Franklin and all that bullshit. I'm talking about just what they call them the old saints. You know what I'm saying? We can't say that there was not some power. What can we glean from that? I think we need to start manifestation groups.
Mm.
Ain't nobody, as my cousin say, even swap, no swindle. There's no there's no, you know what I'm saying? There's no agenda other than they get together, they discuss a common goal.
Mm-hmm.
Just like people got savings clubs.
Yeah.
In this manner, you ain't having we can bypass the trust issue. We ain't putting up no money.
Right.
We're putting out energy. That's all we got. We got to trust that everybody's going to put their energy in it.
Yeah.
And what if these group of people got together and settled on a word and they put that out collectively out into the universe? What might happen? See, this is where nobody has to be excluded. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And it's funny
just something.
because you know, I always tell this story. Well, I don't always tell this story, but I'll tell this story. Jamal turned me on to magic in a way with writing this word on the new moon. Now, I had this pain in my foot for a minute. Like, I mean, I would go to sleep, it would go away, but when I would wake up in the morning, like my right foot would just hurt. So he was like, "Yo, new moon, foot, 28 days." I think I did it for 28 days. So I do the word, I write the word down, I do it. And one day we talking, and I don't know how we got on the subject, but we did. And I noticed my foot wasn't hurting anymore. And it hasn't hurt since. And that's when I knew it was real. Like writing those mantras writing that word for those 20, it took that pain in my foot away, bro. And once that happened, I went on a run of writing words like every new moon, like I went on a little run doing it for a few months, not even a few, some months after that, because I got a little book that I write it in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I knew, I was like, okay, this stuff is real. And I had another. Oh, when my uncle had a church when I was young, probably like 12, 13. We was back home in New Jersey, in Newark. I'm from East Orange, but my uncle's church was in Newark. And he had a I think she was an evangelist come in. And I told you this story. And my mom sent me up to get touched by the lady. Now, she gonna pray over you and all of that stuff. I'm like, okay. Now, mind you, before I go up, I see all these people falling out. I'm thinking they faking. So I go up. She anoints my head. She's speaking in tongues. She touches me. I fall out.
Oh man.
Listen. I'm not joshing you, bro. I fell out. I came to, and I was like, Mom, what happened? And she said, you was on the floor moving around shaking. I said, really? Because I went up with the attention of, I'm not falling down like the rest of these people. Right? I'm 12 years old. I'm like, this is fake. Like, no one, like, this isn't real. And my mom, go up there. And this lady touched me, bro. And I went out. Real rap.
Wow.
So there's something real running around, and I never forgot that. Just like the time I smoked 10 blunts with my man in 95, and I felt frequencies. Now, mind you, 25 years later, I'm feeling them again. Super sensitive. And my wife was on the live talking to a lady about it, and she sent me the video. She played the video for me, and like, I'm hearing frequencies, bro, right now.
Mm-hmm.
Not like literally right now, but like, and I have to put headphones on or something to take it away. And then I asked my wife the other day, I'm like, yo, maybe if I tap into it, maybe I might. Because the other day, listen, man, I be hoping I'm not low key on some going schizo, right? But one of these things happened the other day, and I almost heard something audible, but I fought it out. And I told her maybe I should have just tried to hear what it was and wrote it down.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's some weird shit, bro. Now, this lady on this live that my wife was on was saying, like, there's some, she was talking about there's some UFOs stationed out, outside the planet and all of that type of stuff. And, a lot of people are we all have it. Some of us is more sensitive than others. But my first time with it was in 1995, and I thought it was just the weed. At that time, I don't smoke weed anymore, but I thought it was the weed. And when my man turned the volume down on the stereo, I felt it on my skin. I felt whatever, if frequencies if you could feel it, okay, it's like this. Remember the old tube TVs? When you turn the TV on, you hear that white noise, that boo. Like, that's the shit I be hearing.
Okay, check this out. Let me tell you about this shit. Some shit happened the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And it might be, it's not on the level of that, but it's some weird shit.
Low key, that's real.
I put a vitamin in my hand, and I had 2 vitamin C tablets. Okay. I had my Bluetooth, these beats. Okay. These little things. I had one in my ear. When I touch the fucking vitamin to the vitamin C, the shit start
what?
in my damn ear.
Wow.
So look, man, I don't know about no fucking UFOs,
Right.
but Brother Bobby would say the UFOs is us.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm feeling like some of the shit we've been saying all these years, but through the metaphysical studies, yeah, we believed it, but it was, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like far away. I feel like the shit is smacking us in the face now. Like it's like I don't even know how to even.
It's like I told you, before. Remember, I told you I was like, yo, I was scared to get super healthy because I thought I was gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was getting downloads to get like, yo, clean your system out, get yourself, and I was like, oh, if I do all of that, what's gonna happen? I got scared, so I didn't do it. Now I'm thinking like that download may be tying in to me hearing these frequencies, bro. Like being some type of vessel to bring something in, clean your, and this is for me. This is just personal.
Right.
For me to do whatever I need to do for me. You know what I mean? Whatever this is meant for me, it's like, yo, because I've been on, get in shape, get back in shape, you know what I'm saying? I felt like I'm gonna say I eat like 90%. I'll even say 95% good. Like here and there, I'll get a candy bar. Like I go to the grocery store, go at Harris Teeter and get a 2 for $5. One of them.
We stimulate the economy.
Yeah, that's my go-to, Jake. Like, I'll get a GR Delis or something, like little 2 for $5 chocolates or something like. But for real, like I really eat healthy, bro. And it's like, but just getting on that treadmill and getting some of this weight off me and all of that type stuff. But I feel like it's for a purpose. And deep down, I knew it was for a purpose. And then I started hindering myself. I blow a couple cigarettes or like to fight it. But it's like, bro, you need to do this for a reason, and it's coming regardless. Now I'm just trying to have you in the right position so when they come, you can handle the energy that's coming with it. Mm-hmm. So I had to reshape my mind around, what these downloads mean and get out of self. So this ties back into the prayer and meditating. And listen, I don't believe. I'm not that I don't believe, but I'm not accepting any negative things that come into my mind. I push those away, and when those downloads come of doing something positive, like that's what I tap into. You know what I'm saying? Like those the downloads that's just like, okay, I don't know what this reason is for, but it has to be for something that I may not be able to see. You know what I mean? And so just being in position for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes you wonder why they called us X. And when you study all the symbolism associated with the X, even beyond just the unknown, the X is the cross of of spirit in the matter. When you spin it 45 degrees, you got the X,
mm-hmm.
which becomes the Aleph in Hebrew, which ties back to the ox, and the ox plows and goes forth. Then they call us Generation X, as if by having control of all the ancient scrolls, they knew of a time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And now, and it's got to be something, because our childhood was speckled with crack. In the first grade, they came in with the DARE program, drug abuse resistance education, and they introduce us to crack at school, and all of a sudden, this just it, out of nowhere it comes, and out of nowhere this thing called AIDS comes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Then you have Ronald Reagan creates something called a drug czar.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe Biden signs into legislation a crack bill.
Yeah.
And so we can't separate it that it's our generation. Is it just happenstance?
Yep. Clinton comes with the 3 strikes.
3 strikes. And so now we've had children. Generation X has had children. And these children have this. What's going on right now.
Yep.
So I think there has been a knowing, you know what I'm saying, of this release of this energy, and we're seeing the response to it. Man, we ain't never, man, look, I've been in Texas almost 20 years. We ain't never had no stretch of weather like this. Never. We look, we done had ice storms, but that shit be a couple of days and it be gone. We have never had no stretch of weather. This shit, look, man, a week ago, the weather report was like, oh, it may get down to 40s. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, we in the fucking teens.
Wow.
I'm just talking to you. I'm high siding on you, but yeah, y'all up there in North Carolina, I can't fuck around. Y'all be there.
Right.
No sooner than we hang up the motherfucking phone, our shit popping up 16 degrees. They're calling for 5 below zero in Texas, man.
Yep. Well, I follow this channel. This guy Mike Morales. He talks about weather. He got an interesting channel. You know, I don't. You know, everybody say we know about, or they talked about HARP before, and weather machines, and I know we talked about chemtrails and all of that type of stuff, man. But either the planet's doing something, or these guys are manipulating something, and it always take me back to Lupe Fiasco on this song called American Terrorist. And in one of the verses, he talks about man poisoning the water to bring back Christ, like tempting God, basically. Let's just see if we can mess up. Okay, if there's a God, we're gonna mess this place up and see what happens. And when I see these things, that's what it makes me think about, man. I don't know if the planet's doing something. I don't know if these nefarious folk are doing something themselves, but for whatever reason, as I said some time ago, man, we're in a shift right now, and it's all about finding out where you at in that shift, which comes back to you as an individual and those around you, and being prepared as much as you can for what's going to happen after the shift happens.
Indeed. I mean, and I think too, remember this, and everybody's got their different schools of belief on this thing, but I'm from the school of you come down here multiple times, until you have completed the cycle. So if you incarnated at this time, that's some amazing shit just in its own.
Mm-hmm.
Even the fucking derelicts who out here trying to fleece people and whatever, everybody's playing a role. You know what I'm saying? Everybody came at this time for a purpose. And that's something to me, is just to not be dismissed. What we say in that song, I don't know which one it was on that last one we put out, but it's like, we win. I don't know which one it was.
I think that was that on the third bar? Was that the third verse? You talking about clarity and fight, right?
Yeah, it was the second one.
The second joint, yeah.
Yeah. I was playing with the word justice and saying just us,
Mm-hmm.
But I know who win, just us,
Yeah. And it's like your man Yash Kara say, the 1/3 ain't gonna make it. 1/3 not gonna make it. The 1/3 ain't gonna make it. Let me get some of his
my man is a trip. He'll put no endings on no words. Y'all,
live water.
I guess that's alkaline water. Let me read this. Let me read this right here. Here we go. Yeah, my throat dry.
Oh man. But yeah, all we can do is try to be work on ourselves, try to be a vessel, come in contact with people, share the information. We've been hearing this all our life. Everyone's not going to get it. Everyone's not going to understand. Some people are going to perish. Some people are going to come back here. The beauty of it is me and Jamal always say this. We could have easily been get up, go to work, come home, watch the news, watch a TV show, take the kids to practice, and do the same thing over and over. But we've been blessed with wanting to understand and wanting to know. And we always talk about sometime, man. I feel like if I just would have been mundane, just stayed in the mundane, I would have been all right. But it's like, but when you learn this information and then you learn how to deal with it, when I first got into the information, I got depressed. And then I began to understand what the information was. And it was really understanding to know how to maneuver in the world. That's what the information I found out it to be. Like, I don't have to buy into a lot of things. I don't have to buy into materialism, because I was like, man, what's material? Well, we need material. And what's materialism? But now, like, clarity is starting to really kick in now. And even though life around us moving fast, it's slowing down for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like those shows where you standing still and the traffic is just shooting in front of you like this. Mm-hmm. But I'm still, because now I'm off that road because I have some understanding, bro. And if we can, just share what we going through, share what we reading, and chime in with like-minded individuals, we're gonna be the ones that may be just might be okay. Another song by Lupe Fiasco off his first album. We just might be okay. You know what I'm saying? And and if we do come back here for whatever reason, hopefully there's something in our DNA to where we'll notch up from where we were in this dispensation.
Right.
Because I've been having crazy thoughts like reading the dictionary and build my vocabulary, and I'm like, what I need to do that for? You know, why I need to do that? And it's like, these downloads is telling you to do it, bro, for whatever reason. I may not understand the reason right now, but it may be to open the door down the road. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? So I kind of stop shooting myself in the foot when I'm getting these downloads to do positive things and things for growth, and stop saying, because I can still get in my matrix world, like, and that's my internal fight. I can still do my old mindset shit while I'm trying to live in this new mindset. In recovery, they say you always have your rear view mirror, which you look up and see where you once were. You know what I'm saying? As you're moving forward, you look up every now and sometimes you can get caught. But that's what I'm trying to do, bro. Implement these new things, keep them rolling. And then when I do hit a roadblock, just be forthcoming with it and share it, and then keep moving forward.
Yeah, I agree. Before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. And I just think the people who need to know this, that just because you discovered there's more than what you thought does not excuse you from class.
Right.
You're still in class. You still, you
never graduate.
You never graduate. I mean, at least not while you're in this human suit. You're gonna have ebbs and flows, and I think the online, the internet, some of these things present. Look, man, they present the idea that you got to be owned, and we joke about the cats who own all the time. They got to be in all the uniform and everything. Like, man, do you and see, that's the pressure. That's the pressure we're living in, where the desperation has gotten so high to where there's not a lot of channels for some cats to get money. So I got to be in character all the time. That's exhausting.
Yes.
I got to always present to the people the idea that I always got shit figured out. I'm on top of everything. I control it all. It rained yesterday. I told it to.
Wow.
I told my stomach, don't shit for the next 3 days, and I didn't. You know what I'm saying? And and people can start to develop this idea that this is what you have to aspire towards, and it's not real.
Nah,
it's not real. This is the land of ebb and flow.
Yeah.
And you can lie to yourself and and try to lie to people and whatever, but if the one who really know is you and your woman, or for ladies, your man.
Yep.
And you learn this from back in the day. If you wanted to know, okay, I'm gonna try to say this without saying. There's this little area, rural area from our town where I'm from. If you say you want to go to that area and you got some shoes to sell, okay? If you get with a female who lives in a certain area, and y'all kicking it, and you let her know I sell shoes. Who else sells shoes out here? You feel me?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I got Nikes. Oh, he's selling Reebok. Oh, okay, really? Oh, so he's the man, huh? And so why the fuck did I even get in it? Where did I start? My mind went completely left.
I was following you.
Yo. Shit. Where did I start?
You started with the with these guys with these uniforms on and
oh yeah. And you got to be on all the time.
Right.
I'm trying to figure out, how did I start talking about that?
And you said a little town outside of your town.
Yeah, but before that, why did I bring that up?
I think you was going into the
Brianna. All right, Brianna. Yeah, because I said the women always know the business. That's why I brought that up. When you go into a town, you got to go through the woman, because she's always gonna know what's going on in the town. It's the same thing like with cats who put on the image they always own. I want to talk to your lady. You know?
Yep.
I want to know about Clark Kent. I know I see your Superman outfit. You know, I want to talk to Lois about Clark Kent, you know. But the thing is, and this is not the clown or be funny, it's really the result of the pressure that's been applied to try to make it in this pressure cooker. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And it's not okay to show any vulnerability of any kind.
Superhuman.
You can't do it. You can't show no vulnerability, because the real magic that's going on now is that everybody is worried about being attacked by everybody else. Got to keep your mask on. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep your distance.
Yep.
And it reinforces the paranoia that we already have, that everybody's out to get us. I can't show no weakness because so-and-so might be plotting, you know?
And that comes from Hollywood. Because when Hollywood, that's how they got the actors and actresses popular for people to want to come to the movie. They created the paparazzi to surround them around the actors and actresses, you know. And then you had guys. If you watch a movie called I forget the name of it. I know Danny DeVito's in it because he plays he's like the owner of a magazine that deal in almost like a Star magazine and OK magazine of a pastime. And but they created the persona that you always got to be on, and they sold it to the public. And then if you somewhere with a pair of sweatpants on, it's like, oh, why don't you got a 3-piece suit on? And looking like how you look in the movies, like you can't go outside with no makeup or nothing. So now it didn't trickle down to us, the program. So now I can't, I better not come on this live with a dingy t-shirt on. You know what I'm saying? I always got to make sure my hair's brushed, and you know what I'm saying? It's like,
right.
Yo, I got to be like Entertainment Tonight. I got to be like First Take, and it's like, no, like the real human shit is like, I just use the bathroom. I wash my hands. I come back in here. I sit down. I might have a wrinkled shirt on, but we in here dropping it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like,
right.
I got to go iron my shirt. Like, so we've been prepared to keep. Basically, we've been prepared or trained to always be on when technically we're not always on, bro. You know what I mean? Like that's not real life. It's not. I wanted to go somewhere else with it, but I lost my thought. But yeah, that's not real. You know what I'm saying? That's a facade. And KD, I wrote that book down, that John Bain Stellar, man. I never heard of that book, but I did write it down.
Oh yeah, I missed that. Yeah, I meant to. Yeah, look. It's John Baines. You know, I was thinking about Ed Baines, Lieutenant Ed Baines. I'm gonna look this up. Stellar Man. That sounds familiar.
It does, but I'm like, it does sound familiar. I'm gonna look that up when we get off. See what that's about. But yeah, man, there's been a lot of things created, and I think some certain people did the knowledge and tapped into it, and then they're bringing it in certain communities, and it's permeating throughout. And if you're not careful, you'll find yourself swept up in it if you don't, if you don't have knowledge yourself for real. You'll find yourself swept up in and thinking thinking you're gonna get some benefit, and the only benefit is you're gonna get is supporting others. You'll be benefiting others.
Yeah, right. Which brings up another thing is we're living in a Ponzi scheme on several levels.
Don't depress me.
And at some point, the bottom's gonna fall out because you go on. I don't care what you go on, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, YouTube. Are you tired of working your 9-to-5 job? I made $3 billion last month through affiliate marketing. Now look, all you got to do is click the link, get this free 7-minute training. That's right. In 7 minutes, I'm going to show you how to change your life. So click, don't turn it off. Don't skip this. Don't skip. Just click below. Everybody's trying to bilk each other. And look, here's the deal. The game has got so ill. You don't really know where your allies are unless you really know a person. I'm going to say this again. You do not know where allegiances lie unless you really, really know people. And I'm saying that, like, it ain't got to be where we grew up together 25 years ago. It'd be like, well, at least have you had a conversation with this person, a real conversation to where you can get a reading on their energy? Like, everybody's got to become a shaman now. You got to be able to look at people and look at their eyes like, this motherfucker ain't right. You got to be able to hear the tonation in their voice like, this motherfucker ain't right. I don't care what nationality or whatever, because listen, the game is ill. The shit is cutthroat out here.
And it's wide open.
Look, I ain't gonna call no name. I saw a cat who's got a platform, and he talked about industry stuff. Has so-and-so taken a deal, so-and-so, evil rituals that such and such. I saw this same cat on a major platform. Okay, you know who I'm talking about.
Indeed.
I just told you the other day.
Yep.
And I'm like, hold on now. If you're going against the machine, how you end up on the machine platform? Then you go back to yours the next night with another one of these, conspiracy. I'm like, oh, that's the play.
Mm-hmm.
The teachers told us that the ego will give you whatever you want to please you. I had to give it up. I think it was Brother Bobby. I think I heard Brother Panic say it. Your ego will give you whatever you want to appease you, to trick you. So if you want to feel to be fed, if the food you want is, I want to feel like I'm going against the machine, well, feed them that. Feed them. Feed them the conspiracy they're looking for. And at the same time, be luring them in closer. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's
I think you well said something. If I hope I said your name right. Shell for the machine. Yep. The system creates conspiracy.
the magic
Yeah.
of the streets changed the current. Neo didn't leave the Matrix. New layer of it. Right.
Neo went straight to the machine world. They powered him up, let him go back and fight a disease that they couldn't conquer, which was Agent Smith, and he went to the machine world after that. Yep. Went right on in.
The ego will give a man, woman, and gold at the expense of his DNA transformation. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. They're trying to pull us towards the movie Transcendence with Johnny Depp. These are the movies you got to pay attention to. You got to pay attention to the Total Recall, Rebate, Transcendence, Divergent, Hunger Games. Like, they put this shit out 10 years ahead of time. You watch them, you're like, oh wow, then you forget about them. And next thing you know, they done implemented this stuff just with the virtual reality. Go ahead and watch Black Mirror again, the latest one, where they got your man, what's the bull's name? That played Tupac in the Biggie movie. He's in the Marvel movie too. I can't think of his name, man, but he's in the VR kissing on a man.
Man.
In the VR,
Black Mirror.
Anthony Mackie, yeah, but the actor's name Anthony Mackie. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so in the VR world, they let you know you can do what you want. It's VR, it's not real. You know what I mean? If in your subconscious mind you want to lay up with a man in the VR world, you can go lay up. Well, you ain't doing it in the physical. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, they doing dress rehearsals right now. You know what I mean? They doing dress rehearsals right now. Just like when they gave us those runs of, the day the Earth stood still, and it started off with Independence Day, then Armageddon, then Deep Impact, and all of these different movies, and it's like preparing us. We don't have I don't know when anything is gonna jump off, but I know they prepare us through movies for things. And you got Elon Musk with this Neuralink, and and that really just, it's like jump started me on that transcendence thing. Like that movie is like, Johnny Depp inside of the internet controlling stuff with his mind and the internet. You know what I mean? It's
Mm-hmm.
like crazy, but they gave you some low key shit in the movie too. Like, yo, get copper and surround your house around, get copper and surround your house with the copper and all of that. Like, so it's kind of like, plays here and there, but yeah, we definitely got to pay attention to what's going on in these movies, man, because they're dropping a lot of jewels in these joints. I watch a lot of B movies on Netflix, especially like the sci-fi stuff, and it's mind blowing, bro.
So yeah, low key said what you're talking about reminds him of the movie Strange Days. I think I seen that movie, Strange Days.
Was that the one with Schwarzenegger and Angela Bassett? They were like cops or I think they were like police officers in the future or something. Yeah, Altered Carbon's dope too. Yeah. I'm on that heavy.
Yeah, that Altered Carbon, they give up a lot in that.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the Altered Carbon, you notice all drugs are legal. And it like they take the shit like with an eye drop.
Yep.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Where you
packs in their neck.
Oh yeah.
Your life was inside of that little thing in the base of your neck. That's what your life was in there. And then they did the drugs, I think, with the eye drops.
That's right. No, Straight Panther said he's not in that movie. Arnold.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who's in that Strange Days joint.
That movie, I know that movie, Strange Days.
Yeah, that's who it was, Ralph. Yeah, I knew Angela Bassett was in it. Yeah.
Don't sleep on the kid movies too.
I still gotta watch Soul.
Wreck-It Ralph. Ralph Breaks the Internet. The Incredibles. That's another one. You have to listen to all of these movies are telling the same thing.
Yeah. I remember when they had a run of putting movies out like Splice, Gattaca, The Island, the remake of Dr. Moreau's Island. Now you see all these deep fakes walking around now. I got a Instagram friend that he be doing deep fakes. And it's just like, wow, like people are really low key. It's just fun. And then you're trapped in it. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, people be on Facebook putting their face on top of Jill Scott and yeah, it's it's all Kundalini and chakras and traveling worlds beyond. Okay, said don't sleep on Stargate. Okay, said they had VR where a man could be a woman through that sound like that shit in damn Black Mirror. That's the episode with Anthony Mackie. Yeah. It's like with all this stuff that all the stuff that came up around the election. all the different layers of factions and um, you know, this savior who was coming out of nowhere, who was gonna right all the wrongs and this and that. That was a, a literal display of the fact that we're in a movie.
Mm.
And now all those characters have disappeared. You know what I'm saying? And the people's adrenaline has been driven through the roof. And then you've left them high and dry without even letting them bust a nut. You know? So it's like that right there is just a simple, to me, representation of the layers of you all said they created the group so they could move exactly. It's all a script.
Yes.
It's kind of like only thing is real is what you know is real.
Yeah. And me and my wife talk about it, man. It's like what I know, I gotta go to work. I gotta go clean this building in the morning. I know that for sure. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Everything else is like you always say, if it's on the TV, you gotta question it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You have to question it. And all you really do know is what's in your everyday life for sure. Outside of that, that's it becomes a projection almost. Unless I'm dealing with you on the daily issue, on the daily occurrence. Yeah. All I know is for sure is what I got to do, and what's going on in my house, and in the breaking the programming of not being worried about celebrityism and in the sports world and all of that. It's like once you pull yourself out of that and get into some metaphysics and some books and those things, I was a diehard Michigan fan, bro. Like, I grew up in Pontiac, Michigan. Like I'm go blue and everything all day, all Detroit sports teams. Now I don't even, it's men now. Is John Harbaugh gonna coach next season? I'm just like, man, I left all that shit alone, bro. Like it's gone. It depending on what circle I'm in, might chop it up for a quick bit, but I let them know from the gate, like, I don't live with it. Like I used to live with Michigan losing on Saturday. like straight up. Oh, we can't beat Ohio State. We ain't beat Ohio State in 10 years. I'm sick. It's like, it's entertainment. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have a dog in the fight. You know what I mean? I'm looking at the real fight. The real fight is shit's bread and circus. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm really tied into. The information.
This is a great question. Do you think the name, this is KDA, do you think the name of the game is participation? Like they need us to buy in and be invested? And now we're talking about the metaphysics of it all. He said, because it feels like you not having a dog in the fight is not good enough. It's real weird. Yeah. Well, yeah, ultimately, participation is very much needed. You know how we know? Because we know once we get into the knowledge that the election is a fiasco. Just the root of the word election is elect, as in the elect, as in the elite. So we go out and vote. and vote is human currency, energy that is being uh, fed upon, because when people stand in the line to participate, they're saying, I agree with the structure. And so the structure feeds on the energy of the people participating. We know participation is important because we just see the yearly world ritual that occurs called the Super Bowl. And this Super Bowl was very important because it was Super Bowl 55. In Kabbalah, the 50 gates, 50 is the gate of understanding, the 50 gates. And KL is Kol. Kol means consumption. But when you add the 5 onto the end, the He, it becomes KLH. 5 is the feminine bride. So Super Bowl 55 was a major get down because it was supposed to be the bridegroom coming for his bride. And we see the cat, the Weeknd, emerges out of the womb when he starts his performance. So he was supposed to be their Christ figure emerging out of the womb or grave to fulfill their mission behind the ritual. Now, the participation is all of our attention, and not so much all of our attention, but those who blindly paid attention. Because I watched the Super Bowl, I played football. Hell, I'm not gonna sit around here and I still enjoy watching football, even though I know it's bullshit,
Right. Yeah.
But the ritual is for the mindless person who watches, I'm blinded by the light, who just singing along with the lyrics, and it's just, oh, The Weeknd, I love his vampire song, So it feeds on the ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
So I say all that to say participation is very important to that group.
Yeah. And I'm like you, like I watch sports, you know what I'm saying? All I'm saying is I don't buy into the wins and losses and into it anymore. I just look at it for what it purely is, entertainment. You know what I'm saying? And I don't get caught up. I used to get caught up in records and everything, and my team should trade for this guy and we should get rid of this guy. Like I was real vested in it. And all I'm saying is I just remove myself from being invested. I just look at it, because one thing I know is when you're reading and studying and doing all these things we do, sometimes we need a release from it. So my release is to look at something, quote unquote, mundane, and then, hop over there for a minute, get some understanding. Like I heard Lupe Fiasco say one time, yeah, I'll be cooling with the what he say? I'll be cooling with the 1%, but then I go and see what the 99% talking about, just so I can know what's going on. Then I jump back with the 1%. You know what I'm saying? Like he said that. And it's like, so, and not to say I'm doing that, I'm just saying, like, you need to come up for some air. And when I do, it's entertainment. It's a little entertainment. And I don't, I just look at it for what it is, and then I go back in.
Yeah, it come back just that old basic old scriptures: be in the world but not of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was a diehard Lakers fan growing up. But man, I ain't paying attention. I don't know what the fuck the Lakers doing now. Right. I mean, I know they won last year, and Brianna makes a good point. She said the release for me is application. True indeed.
Yeah, that's what me and wifey been talking about. It's like we came up with that. That was a couple years ago. I want to say it was like, yeah, we reading all these books and all of this stuff, but what are we applying? Are we applying anything? You know, I'm reading a book about meditation, but have I meditated? You know, so what can I do that's applicable, and then put some uh put some work behind it and do it. Like I didn't know about doing that word, you know what I'm saying? Till you turn me on to that, and then I did it, and I got some remedy from it. Like it still I still bug off that, But now when I think about it, it's like, yo, I wasn't, when I was coming up in church, because when I read the book The Secret, I didn't get it until later on. My cousin gave me this book, and she's like, I bought this book for you, should check it out. Like, I got a vision board and all this stuff. And I'm like, I read it, and I was like, yo, I didn't get the book. But it was just all about, law of attraction and all of those type of things. And I'm like, I might have been doing that all along when I was praying when I was younger, and in the church, bringing some positive things into my life. But I was just calling it Christianity.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yes, the common denominator is the work.
It is the work. And what's so beautiful is about it is, to me, this whole idea of an Aquarian age is that, and where there's an emphasis on individualism to promote collectivism, is that you have the ability to create your own work, create your own religion.
Mm-hmm.
And and the only follower needed is you.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's where we at. And I remember Bobby Hemmett had in a lecture talking about a church they had in South Carolina that they burned down, and he said this particular church they had people who were practicing voodoo, who were sects of Christianity, but basically everybody had and some were even Muslim. And the thing is, everybody had their own section inside of this one facility.
Wow.
And nobody bothered anybody. And he said I think he said they burned it down or something. And that's the thing. I think when all the layers are peeled back, this is just me from my Aquarian perspective, because although I promote individualism, I am very much about the collective. I just don't necessarily want to fucking know everybody, and I don't want to be friends with everybody. I'm standoffish, but I'm not anti. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm still I believe in the concept of the people. I still do.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't always want to be around the fucking people. But I believe that we're heading back to that. Like you know what I'm saying? We're completing some cycle to where we're going to eventually see to where that person who thinks they're only in this lane can look at somebody who they think is the antithesis of them, and they might be able to still find some common ground. Because if the ultimate goal is raising up the divinity within yourself, you know what I'm saying? There ought to be there ought to be somewhere we can meet on this. If I'm not looking to worship, especially no man or no woman, You still got your thing pulled up
Yeah.
from James?
Yeah. Did you want me to you want me to get on my Hebrew Israelite? Read.
Read. Give me Secret Book of James.
Did you want me to
Yeah, if you can read that little portion about blessed is he who about the humans.
Okay. Let me see. Blessed will you be who have not seen the human or associated with him or spoken with him or listened to anything from him. Yours is life. Understand that he healed you when you were sick, that you might reign.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Now the rest of it says, woe to those who have found relief from their sickness, for they will relapse into sickness. Blessed are who have not been sick and have not known relief before getting sick. God's kingdom is yours. So I tell you, be filled and leave no space within you empty, or he who is coming will mock you.
Wow. Okay, he's reading from the Secret Book of James from the Nag Hammadi scriptures, also referred to as the Apocryphon of James. It's a lot can be gleaned from that. I think Yoel mentioned earlier about the trickster energy. And that last part you read, to me, speaks to preparation for that, not being prey to that. You know what I'm saying? I want to go back. I want to look at it in my version here. I want to see how it says it in this one. Damn, lost the damn page. It said, "Do not be caught lacking," right?
Yep. So I tell you, be filled and leave no space within you empty, or he who is coming will mock you.
Mm. Damn. I thought I marked this when we. Okay. 343. Okay. Woe to those who have rested from their illness, because they will relapse again into illness. Woe to those who have rested from their illness. Rested. Okay. To me, that's saying woe to those who have learned, who gained some measure of understanding, and who have rested on their laurels. Woe to those who have rested from their illness, because they will relapse again into illness. Blessed are those who have not been ill and have known rest before they became ill. To me, that's yours is the kingdom of God. I always, when I read these things like this, I always try to look for the parallel because I don't think that they were meant to be separated from the canonical books in the
Right.
Bible. They were extensions. Okay. So, when there's in the Old Testament, when they said the Israelites are not to eat the leavened bread, they're only to eat the unleavened bread.
Mm-hmm.
If if bread is unleavened, it has been exhausted of its hot air. For lack of a better term, it's flat. So blessed are those who have not been ill yet. To me, are those this is the equivalent to me of unleavened bread. Those woe to those who have rested from their illness because they will relapse again into illness. That's the pump. When yeast and heat combine, it makes bread rise, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We could associate rising bread with, if we want to say, ego, or another word is pump. When somebody's pompous, puffed up.
Right.
You've gotten to a point, you got it all figured out. I'm gonna stop right here. I'm gonna rest. And
That's what happened.
all of us at some point. If there's a mistake made in the mixing process when you're making bread or a cake, it'll rise and then that motherfucker will fall. You know what I'm saying? To me, I liken that to this. If the process of the rising of the bread was not correct, it will fall. But blessed are those who have not been ill and have not known rest before they became ill. So to me, if this is like dough that has been kneaded properly, is blessed are those who have not been ill. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In other words, who've gone through the steps to get to the knowledge so that the knowledge literally becomes wisdom. There's a difference between knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge is pompous. You can have a whole lot of knowledge. Knowledge without the work, knowledge without the application is
That's what it seems wisdom is the application.
the wisdom is the application. It's like when you're in college, you take the classroom stuff, then you have to go in. Like if you take chemistry, you got to take a lab. When you do biology, you got to also do the lab.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go in and fuck with beakers and and other little experiments. So it's hands-on. So it's more sustainable. But just going in and doing the stuff in the book is not sustainable. It's only a part of it, and it will soon dissipate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. With the application of it, you forget about it.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it seems like reading this is for people that's in the that's doing the work, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're reading this and you're doing the work, it's for you to stay. It's for you to stay steadfast in it. Because if you relent and give up and go back to the old ways, Yeah, that's it. You're gonna falter. You're gonna be tied back down into what you removed yourself from again. So this is just helping you stay on the course,
Mm-hmm.
giving you
Mm-hmm.
reaffirming that you're doing the right thing, and you will reach the end goal um, of staying on this path. Which to me, on this realm, is not getting caught up in what man got going on. You know, this understanding to help you stay out of those pitfalls, as we was talking about before. Uh, if you stay on the path of seeking knowledge and then applying it uh, with wisdom, you'll find yourself being okay, except for random acts of life. Um, but for the things you can control, you know, on paper you'll be all right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's necessary to do what I've come to learn is that to do the magnificent requires the mundane. Um, because it's in my nature to not always want to be settled. It's not in my nature really to do things correct and in order.
Mm.
You know, I don't really need to study chaos because I literally am it. So for me, my life path has evolved. I need some order. That's just me. I really do. I have to constantly seek order because chaos comes normal to me.
Mm.
And so I can never lose sight of the mundane nature of this existence because it's necessary, the grounding I need for my rocket ship to take off. You know what I'm saying? Um, so yeah, and that's really too, man. Why I'm really into just I've really engulfed myself into studying the astrology, man, because when I really get to fanatical, it's I know it's the force is driving me. You know what I'm saying? It's not
Yeah.
me. It's the force. And because I've been deep into the metaphysics for 10 plus years, and what I'm seeing now is this is an avenue for greater mastery because we are all very magical beings. It's no doubt about that. But anytime you can add order, I just been running on chaos, man, in my own way, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so, I had to sit and think like, man, I got to figure out how to bring some more order into how I'm doing things, because just even with reading, I like throughout the years, I've been notorious. Like I read 4 books at one time, getting something out of here, because I don't read them cover to cover, like it's a novel. I'm reading and I'm picking, I'm taking notes, but at some point you got to settle in to a degree of mastery on another level,
Yeah.
and you got to have more order.
Yep.
Brianna said, she said, gotta love a wife. Then she said, it's the order that makes the ritual able to occur. Facts.
Yeah. That's what I had to, with the art. That's what I had to tap into with the art to get the production to where it is now. Sit still with it and work on it as much as I can. And now the ideas that I have, I'm able to formulate them through the music now, where before I was like, man, I know what I want to do, but I'm just not there yet. And I'm still working on it. You know what I mean? But it's like you said, and it's like Brianna said, it's like the rituals, the work, the order is the work, the ritual of doing the work, then you get the end benefit, which is completion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so you was a little you was heavy on yours. And I know I used some art, but it just made me think. I'm sitting here in front of my equipment. I'm just like, but it's in everything. It's
Everything.
ourselves. It's music. It's in everything almost. That work he was talking about, but the beauty of it is recognizing it and then doing something to remedy it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The great Bill, good brother.
Yeah, man.
When we come back next week, I'm gonna read this other highlighted part. And I think if I read it now to keep us on here another 45 minutes, but I think it'll be a good start off, for next week. In the same book, and in the secret book of James, and the head title was "Believe in My Cross."
Mm-hmm. Believe in my cross.
Yep. It's right after what we read. It's my heading is "Be filled and lacking," and then under that it says "Believe in my cross," and it starts off with I answered and said to him, "Master, we can obey you if you wish, for we have forsaken our fathers and our mothers and our villages and have followed you. Give us the means not to be tempted by the evil devil."
Mm.
KDA said, "I always wondered about order and chaos. Like, is chaos just called that because of our viewpoint?"
Mm. I always wondered about order and chaos. Like, is chaos just called that because viewpoints? That
seems like duality. Like that's one end of the person, one end of a person, it's the even kill, and then one is order, one is chaos, and you're in the middle almost.
Yeah, they're forever commingled. They can't exist without each other. And again, just using a mundane reference here, you don't really appreciate wellness until you've been sick, you know. And if we say wellness is a measure of order, sickness is a measure of chaos, you know, you reference those times when you've been sick. You know, it's like, you know, damn, yeah, man, my stomach was tore up, or, you know, yeah, I had the flu, da da da, and then, you know, but then you can remember how you came out of it, you know, and when those two meet and they clash, you also learn too why the ancients talked about stillness. You know, when we talk about meditation or being stoic, you know, it's about being still. And being still in the midst of chaos and the desire for order, what happens is there's a measure of rest. You know, when you're sick, it's really the rest that kicks in that really helps to draw and magnetize the order. But sometimes when we're in a state of wellness, we don't have a sense to rest. So in that perspective, chaos is necessary because we refuse to be still, you know? And I know that's super mundane, but it's
and I think when we start looking at nature and life, it's all like what we're looking for is all around us, and it seems we just haven't like not I want to say pinpoint. That might not be the right word, because I was just thinking about like men and women come together, create friction, produce it, and produce life. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's all around us in different variations, but you know, I don't know. It's just that duality thing, man. It's just all right there, you know. And we're trying to, you know, like I said, I don't know what the 0 point is of it, but it's all right there. You know, I got trees in the back of my apartment, like, you know, the trees there, it's grown, leaves fall and come back. I'm interested to see, does the same design of the leaf come back in the same place? You know, when the leaves come back on the tree, is it the same leaf that faded last year, or is it is it a different design? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the type of stuff that like has me excited. You know what I mean? Once you pull yourself out of, you know, out of our programming, it's like those are the things that get me excited now. You know what I mean? But I think it's all around us, man, and we're searching for it. And to be honest with you, I think information can pull us to and fro, and that's why I just kind of reset myself and don't really have, you know. I know we should have a direct line or a direct path on what we're doing. And I think that's kind of been where I was messed up at. I never had a direct line. And I think it just came from my father telling me to read everything. So I never sat down and went, oh, okay, I'm going to study this all the way out. And I'm going to study this all the way. Kind of like how you said you was reading 4 books at a time was kind of how I was taking stuff on. Like, you know, because it's all right here. So I just wanted to grasp it and get into it and get an understanding of it. You know, I didn't need to be an expert in it. I just need to get the understanding. And that's where I come back to if I go to the base of a topic, or if I go to the base of something and I get what its inception point is, I don't necessarily always have to do with the splinters from it. You know what I'm saying? Because I understand the basis. The splinter is just, it's what keep the matrix running. in my opinion, at times. You get to the bass, it's just like, oh, okay. And then but everybody plays off the splinter. And sometimes if you just understand the bass, you don't even got to deal with the splinters. You just see what it is, and now I don't have to tie into it.
Mm-hmm. Real rap.
Yep.
Simple. Well, good brother.
I didn't think we was gonna go this long.
Oh man, I was thinking 45 minutes tops.
Right. Oh man.
Oh man.
Do you have a pen for the week? Have you listened to any music before we hop out?
Like I say, it's old, but I got to go with the Fiasco Muriel.
Yeah, and I think that's if nobody ever heard that song, check that song out. He goes in for, I think that song is like 6 minutes, but he goes in nonstop on that joint. The beat's crazy, what he rhyming about's crazy. You're definitely gonna have to. I'm into going to Genius and reading lyrics as they're being spit. I like doing that. So that's a way to go check it out, because he's saying a lot in it. You're gonna have to pause and man, what did that bar mean and all of that. My pen goes to this week. My pen goes to The Word. Check out Clarity in Sight. You know what I'm saying? Check out Clarity in Sight.
Good look. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I think I wanted to start at the debut off with my man. Like, when I met Jamal, and he told me he had music on SoundCloud, and I went to go listen to it. I knew he had a pen, and I said, if he can work his pen on my production, as my dad used to say, it's hell to pay the captain, because it's like it's gonna be vicious, and and he bought in, and and per his own self, he's told me that he even felt like it, and I ain't saying this because of my production, but that he felt like his pen is at a different place, and I'll let him tap on that. But Clarity Inside, our latest single, is on Bandcamp, and we got music coming forth, and I really, everybody's like, we need real hip hop, we need this and that. Like, I would really ask y'all to check our music out, and and not for buying it and all of that. Like, if you really want to just have some high science lyricism, some boom bap production with a jazz mindset in it, check out Think Muzic, man. Check our Bandcamp page out. We got a couple EPs and songs on the streaming services. Check us out, man. Like, it's different. It's different shit, and it's obviously it's not what's on the radio. So, give us a shot, man. Like, real rap. We trying to give y'all unadulterated raw hip hop. When me and Jamal make this music, he don't know what beats I'm sending him, and I don't know what he writing. So y'all getting organic music. This is uncut raw fish scale dope. You know what I'm saying? Like,
there we go.
Yeah, like this is real. And check it out, man. Like, and we're gonna be doing these podcasts. This is the debut. And if y'all got questions about the music or lyrics or whatever, shoot that in the chat. And we could pull the music up. He got his lyrics, he could pull it up, and we can go in on what he's talking about in these songs, because he has high level concepts for these songs. like Milan Fashion Week. If you go back and listen to that off the Global Reset EP, like I make these beats called opuses, and usually they got between 3 to 11 beats on them, like depending on what it is. And the way he played Milan Fashion Week, talking about this woman, is ridiculous, bro. And it's a 3-tier story, 3 different levels. You know, so the hip hop you want is here. You know, all the lyricism we grew up with, it's right here. It's just in the future now. You know, all those guys that used to spit, yeah, they still around. But, you know, if you want the new lyricists, it's right here.
Hey, yo, that's what's up, bro. I appreciate that.
Yes,
It's
sir.
You know, the production as a writer, and I write for a living, you know. So I think I'm qualified to say what I'm saying. Is as a writer, you're trying to create new synapses in your brain to expand your ability to use words. Okay? So what the production has done for me is inspired me through the way its abnormal nature, as in the production is very Aquarian, and me being an Aquarius, I immediately locked into it. Because I heard things like, where the fuck is the chorus supposed to go? I heard, or I'm saying the music would have these thoughts come up in my mind. Or, I don't necessarily hear no drums in this one. You know, or, oh, I know, I like that sample. I don't know where it's coming from, but it's got that jazz feel to it, because I grew up with my old man playing Grover Washington in the car.
Yeah.
My old man was playing Spyro Gyra, you know, Chuck Mangione. Oh, come on, man.
That's Spyro Gyra right there. Cockatoo.
You know, what's my man? Is it? How you say his name? Jamal.
Oh, Ahmad Jamal. Yeah.
Ahmad Jamal. I
That's
grew
where
up on him.
Yep. That's where you get Stakes is High and something else off Nas' debut.
See, that is
whose world is this? Pete Rock.
Okay. So what I think what our music is presenting is the power of inspiration. Because I think, and I ain't saying that cause he on here. It's just ain't nothing I ain't told him already. It's like, you know, Dap's production fits my pen. You know what I'm saying? And it pushed my pen, because he was coming out with these opuses, and I'm like, man, what the fuck is this?
Wait till we drop the debut album. Oh my god.
Oh man.
And it's written.
You know, I'm like, man, what's a 12-minute song? You know? Right. And a 12-minute song is really 4 songs, 5 songs within it. What is this?
Yeah.
And I'm like, my hesitance. I'm like, well, look, man, this is what I'll do. I pick out the beats that I really like the most, and I'll write for those parts. We can just chop this up. And it's like, oh, okay, that's cool. I was like, you know what, man? Fuck that. I'm gonna write for the whole 12 minutes. I'm gonna write for the whole 16 minutes. And that was, from an MC perspective, that was the work.
Right.
I went into my apprenticeship. I became an apprentice to his production because I like to be in control of things. Anybody know me, like Jamal like to be in control of his surroundings, his situation. I relinquished it, and by relinquishing that control and just writing, like, because as a writer, I like to title my own shit too. I even gave up some of that, like, he send the beat, Milan Fashion Week. Oh, we keeping that motherfucker. And that means I'm gonna craft my bars to the title he sent and the way I hear the music in my head.
Yeah.
And then the idea comes, Milan Fashion Week. Okay, that's where all your high-end elite, one percenters gather, and it's a ritual in itself.
Mm-hmm.
They got these women they done starved half to death and have them parade up and down a runway for them. I was like, you know what? In a way, my people are like those models. People like to look at us and have us parade in front of them, and they don't really give a damn about what we had to do just to get by. They just want us to show up on Fashion Week and entertain them. So I created this idea just off of hearing the beat and listening and accepting the title. The shit just came. It's like the idea came like, oh yeah. So stanza one is, and it just started. It just from then it just flowed. I wasn't even thinking it out. It just was just coming.
Yep.
And what we're trying to convey is like this is the shit that people saying they want.
Right.
Like when it was pure, before the dirty hands got in and sullied the hip hop water. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to recapture Rakim 88.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to recapture KRS-One. I'm not an aficionado like that, but that's what but we're trying to recapture that without trying to redo it, or we're doing our version of setting the new bar in 2021, like they did 88.
Yep. And one thing too is that when we started the music, he told me to just send it as I send it. So that continued to give me the freedom, because I don't really put choruses in beats, because I started off as just making instrumentals. So it was like I come towards the beats with a hip hop mindset. That's why I call my stuff hip hop with a jazz mindset. So, now sometimes the chops is what the chops are, and we call that a layup. You know what I'm saying? Like, we call that a layup. Like, I sit next to him and be like, yeah, this is nothing. Like, this is a little 2 minutes and 20 seconds, and this is a layup. But then sometimes I get intricate, and it depends on the feel. Like, I never sit down and say I'm trying to make this type of beat. I just sit down and make beats, and what come out, and then I send it to him, and then what enlightens him, he writes to, and that's how y'all get these projects. So the blessing I always say is he's been enlightened a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, because he's written a lot, and some stuff he's written we haven't even put out. But that's the whole concept behind Think Music. I sent him the beats. He writes what he feels, and we put it out. The only thing, we just talk about if it's a project, what's the sequence of it to see how the songs flow, with each other. And then we talk about album art, and then we put it out. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not a we're not sitting down arm wrestling over the art. You know what I mean? It's just like the art is what the art is, bro. And to be honest with you, it's therapeutic, it's easy, and we haven't had any hiccups because it's the way it's set up. It's no, it's not like, man, I said Jamal this beat, man, he ain't even rap to this one. Like, nah, it's like the first beat he got excited about. What I tell you, fam, I said, yo, whenever you get that feeling, that's it.
That's it. Go
like
with
that's it. Like, don't like, yeah. And then he challenged himself with his pen on certain joints. Like he do what he do. But I was like, yo, when you get that, dap this one, like, let's go. Like, you know what I mean? And like Clarity in Sight, he wrote that in no time.
Right.
The debut album took some time just because of what's on it.
Right.
But when y'all get transformative moments, and when we drop that, I'm telling you, it's a game changer. It's a game changer. And that's not tooting our own horns. That's just being real. Because what we going to drop, yeah, what we going, it's only 3 songs, but when you when you look at the minutes on them, not to give you too much, yeah, special.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
but
in the words of Kobe Bryant, you're welcome.
Yes.
Nah, just tripping.
But yo, if you want to check me out, man, I'm on YouTube under Dunlap Music. I make beats live. If y'all want to, check out how I craft these joints, I got some videos on my page now, on my YouTube page. We also got the Think Muzic YouTube page. If you guys want to head over there, you men and women want to head over there and subscribe to our Think Muzic YouTube page. That's just strictly music. And we would also like to move this podcast over to our Think Muzic channel, so we can build that up. But that's where all the music sits, and maybe create a playlist or add something to your playlist you have on YouTube, and spread the word. Like, if y'all know somebody that's looking for, man, I'm trying to hear somebody with some lyrics, shoot them our way, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, shoot them our way. I'm experimental with the production. You never know what you're gonna get. I make original beats and I chop records, and my sound sources come from all over. I'm not a sample snob. Like, it ain't just soul samples, it ain't just jazz samples. I'm doing prog rock, jazz, big band, like whatever. When I slap this record when I slap this platter down, and I put that needle to it, if it makes sense, we rocking. And I just sent them four joints today. So, and when we get off this live, I'm about to cook. And so yeah, man, if you know somebody that's looking for that raw underground hip hop and art, and this is it. Think Muzic, man. It's all in the name.
For sure. And next week, I'll put a reminder in the community tab. But I want everybody to come over to the Think Muzic channel. That's where we're gonna be doing the podcast and what we'll be doing them in the future, like Dap said. But I also want to just thank everybody for rocking with us.
Yes.
Because it's my eyes getting blurry, but this shit say on Texas time it's 2:14.
Yep.
And y'all on here rocking with us, just greatly appreciated. I enjoyed it. Time flies when you're doing things that you just come easy, you know. So it's been a great build.
Indeed. Thanks for hanging out, everyone, and checking us out. Greatly appreciate it.
And you know, we'll close with, hey, just remember to think music. You know, think
Yes.
music.
Yes, indeed.
So if Dap, if you ain't got nothing else, we're gonna close it out, my G.
That's it, man. Everyone, like I said, thanks for hanging out. Be well, and we tap in next Friday.
Peace.
Peace.